totally wiped.
Yeah.
Totally wiped. Left the office at 9 o'clock at night and got home. I'm in the process of moving and I didn't have any
Oh
food in
wow.
the. I had to walk over to a restaurant. Yeah, it was a long day. It was
Yeah.
15, 16 hours. Yeah. Fun. Fun
Fun
day.
for sure. We had a lot of fun on our side, you know, so
Totally.
All right, guys. Super exciting show today. We are day two into the public sale. I know there's a lot of information that's going to be given out today. Also, you can go check the announcement we put out. Kind of give you a walkthrough exactly what Dan will be going through, and I bet there's going to be a ton more alpha that's given out. I know I'm super excited to get this information out and just hear from Dan myself. So, how are we doing today, Dan?
Should we give it a minute or so, or should we get started?
give it a couple minutes.
Yeah, let's give it another minute. There are a bunch of people that want to get in still. Where we landed, and developing a strategy that inures to all of our benefit, and that's what we're going to share with you today. So we met as a management team this morning just to debrief again on our thinking, lock down our strategy, and we're actually kind of all aligned on the same page and super excited. So before I get into that, let me actually start with our philosophy, because I think that'll frame and make a nice entry into what we've decided we're going to do. So we have a lot of people internally in our team that are steeped in the NFT world, have had a lot of experience with drops. We have a lot of advisors that have gone through many of these, dozens of these drops. We made a very conscious decision when we came to market around how we wanted to approach the market. A lot of these projects come in with very low pricing, and primarily given the state of the current market, which has been in a slump for a while. And then they hype their project up, they sell out, and then sometimes it trades in the aftermarket and it runs up, and sometimes it doesn't. We overtly made a decision that we wanted this to be recognized as a high quality project, that we wanted a certain type of constituent in our community, and that this was not going to be a traditional NFT drop with the kind of low pricing and flipping that takes place, and that's kind of synonymous with what goes on in these marketplaces. We wanted a solid, high quality community, and that's what I think we have. And that was an overtly that was a purposeful decision by us, and we're actually very happy that we did that. We have a community that continues to grow. We broke 28,000 today in Discord. People continue to find us, continue to connect with us, and become members of this community, and we expect to see that continue to grow. I would not be surprised if in the coming month or so that we break 50,000 and grow from there. If you look at these average Discord communities, 90% of them, 95% of them are basically numbers. Lots of fake users, lots of bots, complete inactivity. I would just encourage you to walk into the communities and understand what these projects drive. We have no interest in that. We're building a real business with a real community and a real foundation. And so this foundational community for us is critical to be a highly engaged quality community, and that's what I think we achieved. We Just to kind of recap what I recapped last night, I'd like to share with all of you how pleased we are with our success from yesterday and where we are today. We raised over $4 million as a company between our pre-seed investors on the venture side, and we raised over $2 million in our drop so far. That is a very significant amount of money that is going to allow us to achieve all of the things that we have planned over the coming year in terms of the development and rollout of our technology, the support of our token holders and our community, and lots of other things that we have planned for everybody that are super exciting. So we're in a great place financially. We've got an incredible team that is super hyped and beyond excited about where we are. I can tell you that, as I mentioned, our advisors, who have all been through this many times, were incredibly thrilled by the quality of our drop yesterday. To be able to sell through what looks like half the collection in 24 hours at the price point that we started at, with a project that came out of the ground to the public in less than 2 months, is a major, major feat. You know, people lose track of and lose sight of that. But it's an incredible, incredible accomplishment that we're very proud of, and we couldn't have done it without our team and without the community. So the final thing that I want to say before I get into what we're doing is that, you know, I see a lot of chatter in Discord around, you know, the floor and pricing, and I can tell you this. Right now, there is almost no supply in the market. When you see an offer for 0.18 or 0.19 or something below the floor, you're looking at 1 or 2 NFTs. It means nothing. The majority, the super majority of our community are diamond hands. They've chosen to hold on to this asset because they want to be a part of this incredible revolutionary thing that we're building. And so 99% of the people out there are not offering their product in the market. You will not see that in any project, and that is a testament to the quality of the foundation of this project. You have literally 60 or 70 listings that are under 1 ETH on a project with a circulation right now of nearly 5,000 mints, NFTs. It's just unheard of, and you need to step back and really appreciate that, because it is truly a testament. Without us saying anything, it's a true testament to the market. So with that, I'm going to communicate what we've decided to do, why we've decided to do it, and then I'll open it up for questions. So beginning at 6 p.m. tonight, we will shut down our public sale. You can buy from now until 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, we will close down the sale. We are going to take whatever remains in our inventory, and we've already internally analyzed our ability to do this, and we are going to take it down and maintain it in an unrevealed state, which means we're going to have to do a little programming to make that happen. It may take us perhaps a day longer than we anticipated in terms of the reveal, but it's a very important thing. The community spoke to us last night and expressed their sentiment around maintaining. If we can maintain it unrevealed, that would be the optimal scenario. And if we can't, then we would have approached this from a different perspective. But we've determined that we can, and we are going to lock up all of the remaining avatars in an unrevealed state in the DAO, and we will make it available at some later date as we get closer to the horse drop. What I can also tell you is that we are making a commitment to the community that we will never sell these assets at a value that's anywhere near what the public paid for this. So you will never see this for sale from us at levels that are at or below the public mint price that we established in this sale. I can also tell you that the reason that we're doing this is because we have a lot of information that nobody else has, including our community. And that information, we treat very similar to the way if we were operating a public company. We just can't reveal it at this point. We can't tell you everything that's behind the scenes and how significant the things that we're doing are. But what I can tell you is that in the coming months, we're going to be creating significant value for this community. And we will roll out that information as it becomes available. When I talk about value, I'm talking about things that you're going to read in your local newspaper, in national newspapers. things that are going to put us in the forefront of this world and make us the #1 project in 2022. Perhaps not just the most innovative project, one of the most relevant projects and applications of NFTs. That's the kind of value that we're going to bring to the table. And I'm not trying to be vague about it, but we're still working excitement that we have and why we believe so much in what it is that we're doing. And I can just tell you, if you think back to everything that we're doing here and how we're going to execute on it, I think you can imagine that in large part we're going to really want the incumbent community, both domestically and globally, behind us. And so, this is just a teaser for you, but we have so much conviction around this project as both a team and as stakeholders. I am personally a major investor in the NFTs, as are everybody on the team. We've all not only purchased our allocation, but we've been buying as much as we can buy at the current price points. And the reason we kind of thought internally, do we want to just distribute this to our token holders right now, to our community right now? We feel like that would be a disservice, because as you'll come to find out in the coming months, there is the potential for these avatars to have very significant value as more and more people want to come and join our community and have no place to get them. So we want to reserve this for them, and we want to reserve it for them when the value is more apparent to the public. So that is what we have decided to do. We're incredibly excited about it. We're incredibly excited about the massive value that we intend to deliver to the public. And I'm saying that not as an anonymous person hiding behind an avatar. Every one of you know who we all are. We're a fully doxed team with incredible amounts of conviction for the project, working 50 to 70 hours a week each, nonstop, to create this incredible platform. And we've put not only our identities, but our money behind this, our work ethic behind this, and we are not giving this away. We've come a long way. We are incredibly proud of what we've achieved to date. And the public, once they become aware of who we are and what we're doing, are going to be right behind this. And I encourage all of you that are here because you love what we're doing, because you have the same conviction, to just hang in there and enjoy the ride, because this ride is going to be incredible. Nothing great is easy. There's no way to make a quick buck is great, but there's a lot of risk associated with that. And sure, there's a lot of that culture in the NFT world. A lot of you are new to the NFT space. This is a very nascent space. Most of everything that you see out there hasn't existed for more than a year and a half. Most of it hasn't existed for more than a year. And anybody who's an expert in this space is an expert because they've been in it for around that amount of time. So nobody really knows where things are going, and the amount of expertise is all relevant to the fact that relative to the fact that they've only been here and developed that expertise for a short period of time. We're basically scratching the surface right now. We're a blip on the radar. Most people don't even know we exist because we're not one of these hyped PFP projects that offers no value other than hype. And so as people come to learn of us, they'll come to understand the quality of the community, as each of you have as you've entered this community, and the value proposition of being a pioneer in a revolutionary project that is truly going to change an industry. And we are all going to be a part of that. So that is where we are. Everybody has until 6 o'clock. We've sent an announcement out to everyone that's on our mailing list so they can understand that this is the last time they will ever have the opportunity to buy these avatars at this price level. Whether you choose to be a stakeholder and make an investment in holding multiples is totally up to you. You don't have to do that. new people entering the market are only going to be able to buy them from people that own these avatars. And then eventually, as we get closer to the mint, we will strategically, um, at the right time, make them available to the market in a manner and at a time in which they're at a very valuable level. So that's where we're at, and I'm super excited to take any questions that anybody has in the audience, or if anybody has any comments that they want to share with the community. We've got over 250 people in the room, which is unbelievable. So, with that, Ben, Squid, I'll turn the floor back over to you and let you guys run the show.
Thanks so much, Dan. It's absolutely incredible, and I know we've got so much planned on the community side too. You know, the next few weeks and beyond. You know, Stable Table Monday. You know, fired up. It's gonna be great. So, yeah. Do we want to? Yeah, I'll just invite up
Yeah,
Palace
invite some
Penguin.
people up.
Palace Penguin.
Hey guys, just want to say thank you as always for just such an incredible, opportunity, and happy to be here to speak for many people. We're in this for the long haul with you guys. My question, more short term here, related to this first drop. Um, in terms of the different types of avatars and rarities, is there a way that you're able to essentially split that out the middle, or is there some sort of allocation of how you're gonna handle the different types of avatars that are going out in the first reveal?
Um, I'm going to ask you to repeat the question because I don't quite understand it. Are you asking if there's a strategy around the reveal or around the ones that we're going to be pulling from the market? So could you repeat the question?
Absolutely. So there was originally 10,000 avatars, that distributed that were going to be revealed randomly. So there's no way to see if you got a super rare one or a less rare avatar. So for the ones that are going to be held back, my question really is, could all of the super rare ones be revealed in this first one? Could all of them possibly not come up in this first reveal? If you could speak to that.
Absolutely. So to answer your question, every one of the avatars is already tokenized. It's already sequenced with a serial number. So they've already been designated and they're hidden and revealed. We can't see them either. Statistically, they will be distributed along the 10,000 and should be randomly distributed in a way where, given the sample size, 10,000 is pretty big, and given the rarities, they should be distributed almost equally across the collection. The collection is selling sequentially, which means that that it started at 1 and it's gone to whatever the number is, close to 5,000. And so the ones that are unrevealed are going to have statistically the same distribution of rarity as the ones that are going to be revealed. We will be publishing the rarity table so that once they are revealed, you'll be able to cross-reference that. They're going to be up on all the rarity sites, including Rarity Tools and Sniper and all that stuff. And you'll be able to see kind of where it is. But we've made a decision. We're not going to redistribute rarities. We're leaving it exactly as it is, as it was meant to be. And that way everybody gets a fair chance to get the super valuable ones.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Harry.
Awesome. It's like,
guys.
yeah, Harry, what's going on?
Good, thanks. Thanks for bringing me up here again. Just on the back of yesterday's discussion that we had in the stable chats, and I completely agreed with the decision that the team's come up with to keep the supply restricted and to keep them unrevealed. So I think that's a good decision. The question I had, and the reason for asking this is just wanting to understand what the active market as it currently stands is. We've got about 5,000 minted already. What percentage of the 5,000 mint actually haven't been allocated to owners yet because they were for tropical racing? And what percentage of that 5,000 are actually restricted for that 60-day period, i.e., they aren't allowed to be sold by the owners? Just to get a bit of perspective of, when we're saying we've got diamond holders, what percentage of those 5,000 are truly diamond holders, and what percentage just can't sell at the market in the market currently?
That's a great question, Harry. What I can tell you is that our internal team, the allocation they were able to buy, I would say that probably represents a couple of hundred to, I would say, between 150 and 300. I don't have the exact number, but it's in that order of magnitude. As it relates to the tropical racing investors, it's somewhere around 1,000. And this is fully transparent. So there's one wallet that holds all of these. That includes an allocation of several hundred for customer service and marketing. So I would say that if you combine all of that together, it's probably in the 1,700-ish range. But there is a wallet that if anybody does an Etherscan, they can find that wallet. Our
I think the
intention.
two wallets you're mentioning are about 2,000 total.
So one wallet that makes up 250 is Sfermian. That is one of the most prominent NFT and metaverse funds, and they are not selling. They're in this for the long haul. And so I would say that they're, think of them as locked up. Think of probably 300 or so locked up on the employee side. And then on the tropical racing side, those are going to be distributed as fast as we can distribute them. So we're planning on kind of hand-holding that community and getting them their NFTs as soon as possible, hopefully before the reveal. So we don't have to deal with cataloging everything. And I can tell you, knowing that community and their conviction, that they're going to be holding this long term. There isn't going to be anybody in that community that's really going to be selling. So I would say that their behavior is going to be consistent with what we're seeing with our more familiar community members that have more experience with NFTs. So I don't think you're going to see a very dramatic change in the diamond holders, in the diamond hands, after we've distributed this. I can tell you that internally, the internal team here has been really begging me to kind of offer them an opportunity to increase their allocation. We made the decision not to do that. And we also made the decision not to discount and sell it to our internal community, which would have sold this out. And the reason for that is I think everybody's going to be very disappointed in a few months, would be very disappointed if we did that, based on where we think this can be. I hope that answered your question, and you'll see in the coming week or so. I have to be very careful to say, when I respond to these questions, just so everybody in the community knows, I'm responding to something that is completely transparent, right? We're in a new world in Web3. Everything that I say can be validated. And so I can tell you what I believe is going to happen. I believe that the community of people coming out of Tropical are going to be long-term holders. I can tell you that if we had offered them an opportunity to buy more, they would have doubled their commitment. We had that discussion as well and decided not to do that. So we could have sold this out in a lot of different ways if we wanted to, and we decided not to do that.
That's helpful. That answers my question. Just a second question I had really quickly was, did I understand it right when you said that when the remaining 5,000 or so population comes back on sale in due course closer to the Horsemen, you won't sell them at the same price as it currently was sold? So it won't remain at, say, the 0.15 or the 0.2 that got sold to the public.
We will never.
Price, is that right?
That's correct. We will never sell these assets at below 0.2. Never.
Okay.
Okay. They will always be sold at a higher value. And my team advised me not to tell you where I think we're going to sell them at. So I'm not going to do that. But we'll never see these price levels again coming from us. And they're also going to be, our intention, if we can do it, is to program them so that they can be individually revealed based on the owner's desire, and we think that those are going to have real value as well and prop up the entire market when they come to market, because it'll be somewhat of a different product that will offer kind of the speculation associated with rarity, and similar to, the best project to compare it to is Clonex, which still has unrevealed vials, and so our intention is to do it that way so they don't compete with the avatars in the current market.
Cool. And sorry, just last one. This came up yesterday as well, I think. The tropical racing avatar, if that goes in the unrevealed population, which is going to get restricted, is there an alternative for that raffle?
The answer is first of all, we have a lot of things planned for the community beyond just the tropical avatar. And we're working on logistics around all of that, and an answer to your question. I don't have that answer right now for you. What I can tell you is that the winner of that, the owner of that avatar, is getting a valuable prize that is going to be paid out in 2023. And our intention is, and we believe that this collection will be sold out well before then. So I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we are talking. The question came up internally, and we haven't decided whether, if it isn't revealed, do we offer something else? And we'll be communicating that more in the coming week.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And sorry to be vague. I really, I want to be able to be accountable to the answers that I give you. And if I don't have a good answer, I want to be honest and tell you I don't have an answer for that yet.
Yeah, fair, makes sense. Playing politically correct.
Thank you, Harry. Nice to see you again.
What's going on? Giddy up.
Hello. Hey, kind of gonna tailor into a lot of the questions you've already asked, but thank you guys for being so open and honest over the past couple months that I've been involved in the community and the project. So really appreciate that open honesty with you guys. Question really is around the unrevealed avatar, so to speak. Part of being a member of this community and starting at the first with the First Mend is being part of that Genesis community. If you're holding these back, are those going to be included as Genesis members or Genesis Mint people down the road, or is it going to be limited to those that have minted when it actually happened?
So it's a great question. What I can tell you is that our plans are to create special, after 6 o'clock tonight, we're going to take a screenshot of every wallet that owns a Silks Genesis avatar. And there will be a program in place to recognize our founding community. The people that come afterwards are going to be able to buy the balance of the collection, of our Genesis collection, and they will benefit from the broad value that avatar carries with it. But there will be a recognition of our original members that came in before 6 p.m. tonight and those avatars. So what I can tell you is we're not publishing anything right now. We will be making announcements in the near future around that. And there will be benefits associated with people that bought it in the original mint that are long-term holders of it. So that will be different than people that have acquired these assets after tonight.
That's great. I just want to give a shout out to your community welcoming committee leaders, by the way. So they've done a great job. So appreciate them as well.
Thank you. And I'm sure they appreciate that. Thank you so much.
What's going on, Adam?
Hey, I think you just answered the one question I was going to ask about. Can we make this next for the locked up tokens, make it Generation 1 and not call it a Genesis or Generation 0 avatar? But it sounds like you're going to call them Genesis still, but give us special privileges as founding members.
Yeah, so we're going to, and again, I can't tell you specifically what the program is yet, but we've been discussing it internally. Um, and for those people that came on in the original mint that hold on to their avatars, we are going to have a way in which we recognize that. And there will be special privileges to that community. I think that's a really great comment that you made around the idea of creating an identity for this community that's distinct, that recognizes this community as truly the founding members. What I love about this whole process, and I have to tell you, this is the first company that I've operated that's built a community on Discord like this. So for me, this is incredible. But what I can tell you is these ideas and access to these ideas from the community, like, is so valuable. I mean, I've got notes that I write every time I talk to you guys, and I can assure you that we'll be talking about this as a management team. How do we identify this community and create a moniker that's distinct from the entire collection? So that's number one on my agenda, and thank you for that.
Yeah, it must be fun to have an open floor shareholders meeting every day.
That's what we're doing basically, right?
Yeah. So my next question was, and I think you might have answered it also because you alluded to the team begging you to increase the allotment. We can all get 5 right now in our wallets. Could we increase that here if we have these next 4 hours to 2.5 hours to buy, or are we still capped out at 5?
I think that they're capped out by wallet at 5, so I think you'd have to create a separate wallet, although I'm not certain about that. I have a couple of wallets, so candidly, I bought in a few wallets to do it personally, as a personal
transferred out.
Hold on to it, but I think that's what you'd have to do probably.
Okay, and then I'll ask this question because I know the Discord was asking it quite often. Right, they're saying a lot of Winner Circles members would buy more at the 0.15 that they originally won, quote unquote. But right now you're selling for 0.2. I think the official answer was no, we're going to keep it at 0.2 to solidify the token value. I understand it. I just wanted to ask it out loud.
So it's a good question. I think that there are 2 issues. One of them is that we have a contract, so the token contract would have to be modified to be able to do that. And 2, we feel like, and believe me, because I would be, I'd be buying a lot more at 0.15. We feel like the value is, even at 0.2, we think is an entry point of value from our perspective. And don't really want to muddy the water with the market. So we're truly, and I have to, the team always kind of checks me because I want to make sure that I don't communicate like from a that I'm humble about this, because I truly am humbled by what we're doing and by the community, but I'm also ridiculously confident about what we have here and what we're capable of delivering. So I don't want you to take it as anything more than just a humble opinion rather than being overly confident. I just feel like there's so much greatness that's going to be coming from here. We don't want to, we're truly indifferent. If nobody wants to buy anymore and we close this out right now, we're happy clams. We don't think that, we were discussing internally all kinds of, literally, I've got pages of notes and feedback from, a dozen people, more than a dozen people that, had a voice in this, plus the meeting we had last night, which was incredibly productive. We had 30 people give us different ideas. And we listened to all of them and we kind of pieced this together this way at the end of the day. We thought about it and we said, if we want to sell this out, we can. Is it worth it? And we feel like it really isn't. We've got enough money in the platform right now to really execute. We've got a foundational community that we think exceeds kind of the minimum viable community to go forward with. We have a lot of momentum, and it's just unnecessary. So we truly are indifferent, and we're offering it to the public because if, for a short period of time we made the commitment to do it, otherwise I would have shut this down a few hours ago.
Yeah, so that was kind of my last, I guess, request for you to comment on. Yesterday, you made a statement that said the game of Silks is cash flow positive for the year. I believe the quote was. So is that through December 31st of 2022 that you've already made enough money to be cash flow positive to run the rest of the project for 5 to 6 months and completes most of this roadmap? Because if that's the case, and maybe you can add some color to like exactly what that means. But if that's the case, yeah, lock those avatars up and let's get this thing rolling.
So what I can tell you is that the money that we raised, coupled with the money that we brought in right now, right? So if you look at the sale of our avatars as revenue, and you compare it to what we've spent since we've started this project, we're cash flow positive today from the beginning of time. And I can also tell you that we have a really nice runway, and that we don't have to rely on raising additional capital other than to be able to roll out a minimum viable product. The reason that we would raise additional capital would be to do it faster, to do it more broadly, to get to market with a bigger product, and to provide security and cushion to the business. This is my fifth startup, my fourth technology startup. This is what I do. I come up with concepts, I build teams, I raise capital, I execute, and hopefully have a great exit. And my track record has been pretty good. When you do these audacious, ambitious projects that become so relevant because they have a promise that's truly going to change an industry or the world or touch so many people, you're swinging for the fence. And that's what I do. I swing for the fence. And when I connect, it's a home run. And when I don't, it's a strikeout. And that's the territory in venture, and that's the territory in these kind of projects. If we win, we're going to all win in a big way. If we lose, we all lose. The biggest home run hitters are also the biggest strikeout hitters because they're swinging for the fence. I think, when you look at a project like this, there are different milestones for risk, right? When you first come out with the concept, I don't have a team, I don't have any proof of concept, I don't have a community. It's massive risk, and that's where our seed investors came in, right? We've now proven that we've developed an incredible concept that appeals to so many people. We've built a community that has spoken with their wallets. We have taken out massive amounts of risk sitting in this room today with nearly 260 people, right? We're at a totally different point than pitching an idea where we raised a couple of $1 million from a variety of sophisticated people and institutions. To get to where we are today, we've taken out enormous risk, but there's still a tremendous amount of work and a lot of heavy lifting coming. So, we're not there yet. There's still a lot of risk associated with this project, but a fraction of what it was when we first started. So we feel incredibly good. And now it's really not concept risk anymore. It's about execution. Now we just have to get to work, build out the technology, build out the interfaces, the user interfaces, and begin to start delivering on the vision, and keeping the community together and engaged as we're doing this, so that when we get to the point where we can launch, at every juncture when we start launching the product, there's incredible engagement and it's working. And that's really the risk right now. It's a very different kind of risk.
Understood. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello guys.
So,
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yeah, all good. My questions are basically about the 5K yearlings. Like, we have already minted around 5K avatars, right? Like somewhere up or below that, and we're gonna have 10K or 10,000 yearlings coming this year to be minted. in the summer, right?
Correct.
So
It'll be in the
will we
it'll be,
have
it'll be in the late summer, or it'll be right around the real yearling auction.
all right, about that now, we're gonna have like we have 5k avatar holders, and thus we will have around 5k yearlings to be minted, not above or below that, right? Because every avatar can mint one horse. I'm not sure if you are planning to make that more than one horse for the avatar, but that's my first question for that. So are we gonna be able to mint more than one horse for the avatar, since we're gonna have 10k yearlings for 5k avatar holders? And my other question, if you like, do you want me to stop and hear your answer about this, or do you want me to ask the other question?
I'll answer this question, and then you can ask the next question.
All right.
So the question for the audience was, each avatar is entitled to mint one horse in the inaugural mint this coming end of the summer-ish. And if there are 5,000 avatars and there are 10,000 horses, would we increase the number that you can mint? And so the answer is, I would be surprised if we don't have a community of 10,000 avatars by the time we mint, and that the ratio will still be 1-to-1. But if it's not the case, then we will have a plan that may include offering people the opportunity to mint multiples. We intend, our intention is to give the value to our community. So if that does happen for whatever reason, then we will certainly consider the possibility of increasing the opportunity for our community to mint more than one horse.
Yeah, fair enough. I believe that whenever we show more about the project and how close it is to be to the people, more people would really consider minting or holding an avatar like sooner or later. Maybe in this early stage, people might be like suspicious or like have some doubts about like this is a really long-term project, and like I could invest in something else at this time and maybe invest later. But I'm with this project and holding it for like at least a year and a half when we start the real racing stuff. So like I'm into this project because I believe that it's a successful one. So my other question is about the 10k yearlings. Like, what are the odds of having a winner horse or yearling between the 10k minted ones? Let's say that I minted two, for example, as a two avatar holders, and I got two horses. These horses or yearlings have equal chances for the other yearlings to win a race, or is it gonna be random and like RNG as we call it in the gaming stuff?
So the horses that you're minting are derivatives of real horses. Okay. So just to answer your question, I'm going to give you an analogy of the real world. So in the real world, every year there are approximately 20,000 horses that are born and registered to race. Of those 20,000 horses, 20 of them are going to race in the Kentucky Derby, and one of them is guaranteed to win the Kentucky Derby. So if you asked me, what are the chances that your horse is going to win the Kentucky Derby? It's theoretically 1 in 20,000. Right? If you were to dissect it a little further and take just the horses, the male horses, it's closer to 1 in 10,000. So the odds are going to stay the same. And the Kentucky Derby is one of probably 50 or more graded races. So there's plenty of opportunity for everybody, but it's all going to be tied to what actually happens in the real world. So I really can't give you an idea other than it's the same probability of what takes place in the real world. In the real world, it's very hard to find data on actually how many horses don't race, how many horses don't win, how many horses do win. But there's a large percentage of horses that make money racing. They may not make a lot of money. There's a small percentage of horses that make a lot of money races, and there's a very small percentage of horses that actually never race. They never get good enough to race. So that's a big part of the game, is identifying who you think is going to be a great horse, and whether they've raced before or not, based on their bloodlines, based on learning about them, following them, and then deciding, do I want to own that horse outright? Do I want to own a piece of that horse and syndicate the rest of it? Do I want to pool that horse in a farm and share it with other horses? And that's how you're going to diversify your risk to ultimately, if you play the game well, create a lot of value for yourself and have a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I got my question answered, and looking forward to basically check out every time on these AMAs, and also look for what people are asking, because like when I get asked about this project, what I answer is your answers, basically based on the previous AMAs. So looking forward to have more AMAs in the future, and keep it up, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And when people come up, if you don't mind sharing where you're from, I know we have a real global community here, and I think it'd be fun for us to just kind of learn, how broad we're reaching. So if you're comfortable sharing where you're from, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm from Jordan, Middle East.
Fantastic. Welcome to the community. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, Vincent.
Looks like we got, yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing today? I'll share where I'm from to start. I'm from New Jersey, the United States, and real happy to be a part of this community. I hosted Brick on Twitter Spaces that I held a couple days ago, and I asked them, do you guys plan to mint out, and what's your contingency plan if you do? And he said you guys had one, and knowing the team, I'm confident that you guys did, and I was excited to see what happened. I think it's a great strategy, and just hats off to how you guys are handling the whole market and everything. Just commending you guys on that to start. Couple questions. Do we have a solidified date for the reveal just yet?
So the answer to, first of all, thank you, and our team appreciates your comments. I announced to the community that the reveal would be within 7 days of the close of the drop. I can tell you that internally, the only change to that is that we've decided that we're going to maintain whatever the balance of the collection is in a unrevealed state, that it's going to require us to do some programming work that I'm told has the potential to delay the reveal by a day. We're going to try our best to deliver the reveal as soon as possible, because believe me, I'm just as excited as you are to see what I got. And it's also going to be a real, it's going to be, I think you've seen a lot of, what the avatars are going to look like. And I think that once we have that out in the public markets, that people are going to really, be attracted to it. And it's going to create a lot of fun just on the speculation side and the rarity side and the identity side. I think we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. So we're excited. It's going to be, if you had to ask me, it's going to be the 7 days because of this strategy. But we're going to work our darndest to get it done as fast as possible, and we'll keep you abreast of our progress.
Yeah, I'm confident that you guys will appreciate that. Another question, I've been in the NFT space for about 6 months, so I wouldn't even call myself new anymore, how fast this space moves. But I've seen with a lot of projects with, longer term goals kind of get a little bit stagnant in the time that they're trying to, achieve those goals. Are there any short term, propositions that you guys have to try to create value for your holders in the short term?
So to answer your question, you're going to see a lot of value coming right out of the gate starting in the next few weeks. We're working very diligently. We've been planning well before this. Philosophically, our view, and I've said this before in AMAs, is when you're a member of this founding community, this is our foundation, right? So we're all here to have fun, to be a part of a community, and to create value, right, for everybody. So we're very cognizant of that. I always compare this avatar is not only your identity as a founding member of the community, and your identity, your public-facing identity in the metaverse, but it's also your membership, right, and all the values that come with that. This community's value starts and ends with this community. We're nothing without this community, and so recognizing that, the entire philosophy of this project is to ensure that our community gets value from this in all kinds of different ways. So to answer your question, you will see value. It's a big part of our roadmap. It'll come in spurts and surprises in many, many different ways. And you'll start seeing that very, very soon, both in terms of the external impact of value coming from the world beginning to recognize what we're doing and getting involved with us. You're going to see that value coming pretty fast. You're going to see the value from things that we're going to do for this community coming fast as well. So, and we'll be, and there's going to be a ton of engagement. So, even though this is a long-term project, there are many milestones. We'll be, we shared a lot that we originally thought, let's save some of this, but we've already shared a lot. You've seen static pictures of what the avatars look like. You've seen, we've shown you static and pan pictures of the metaverse, of horse racing, of stables, of some of the land, and there's so much more to come. And once the avatars are dropped, we're going to begin to develop functionality, even small functionality that will let you start playing around with the tech. We'll be sharing the development of the technology at different stages, so people that are interested in following the growth of the product and what we're doing. Our plan is to keep you guys really close to us and really engaged, so you get to experience kind of the development of all of this from the inside out, which I think is going to be enormously valuable because it's going to be super fun to be able to see it. We're going to do the hard work, and you guys are coming along for the ride as our investors, and you'll get to see this. And we're also going to be doing a ton of education as well, so that by the time the horses come, you're going to all be experts, and that's a big part of the value proposition too. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, awesome. A couple more, and then I'll get out of your hair. So the yearling mint is approximately 6 months from now. Are we going to be able to see, potentially the land mint prior to then? Or should we expect the land mint and, the activation of the metaverse prior to the yearling mint?
Well, I can tell you that the yearling mint is the most complicated part of all the mints because we want to create an environment for you so that when you get the mint, you have a true understanding of what you've got, and you have the tools that allow you to do things with it, etc. So it's much more complicated than the other ones. I don't want to commit to when we're going to drop land, stables, estates, but I want to leave some surprises for the community because we're going to have a lot of surprises. So what I can tell you is there's the possibility that you'll see airdrops, other mints coming in advance of the horses, but I don't want to commit to it. That's where I'm going to leave it right now. I do want to keep some things still covered up and be able to. I want to be able to underpromise and overdeliver.
Awesome. Yeah, that pretty much answers all my questions. I appreciate you being transparent and taking on some of the tougher questions. You guys handle it great. I appreciate everything the team's doing, and I'm looking forward to see what we have coming in the upcoming weeks, months, and years to come.
Really happy that you're part of the community and excited to have you along for the journey. Thank you.
That's a OG, by the way, Dan, right there, Vincent C. Day one.
Awesome.
What's up, Manny? Manny here? Or go ahead and bring someone else up from the audience.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ryans,
Yep.
go ahead.
Hey, Rocky. We're gonna go with Riles.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll wait. Yeah.
Excellent. It's your floor.
Hey, thank you. I'm in sunny Los Angeles this morning.
Awesome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for everything so far. It's really unprecedented to get this kind of, I would say, access to the executive team and get an opportunity to ask questions. I have two questions. Number one, we've kind of maybe covered this a little bit. Maybe you can go over it just a tiny bit. It seems like you're kind of still wrestling a little bit with the fluidity of how, to handle this reserve, 5,300 or so. My question is there any plans for the current avatar holders to have potentially an opportunity to, mint that reserve when you decide to, I guess, release it? Or is it going to be more catered to non-avatar current holders, if you will?
It's a good question. We've really, we spent last night a couple of hours debriefing on all of these things, and this morning a lot of time thinking about it. And we think that there's enough, and I'm just going to be super candid with the community. We think that there's enough value if you want to kind of increase your investment. It's out there right now, and anybody can do that. And we feel like we're giving everyone kind of sufficient opportunity to do that by keeping the mint open. We're keeping it open for 26 hours from the public drop yesterday, and we think that that's enough. So as of right now, our intention is to kind of lock these up, find the right time, and figure out the right strategy to release them when our community is much larger, when we're closer to the drop, when there is, when this community has already realized substantial value from their early investment. Could we do something for this community? Perhaps. The problem may be that there may not be enough avatars to give everybody the same opportunity. So we want to be very careful about what we promise. We don't know what the sell-through will be in 2 hours. It may be enough, it may not be. So I don't want to make any commitments, but we're super cognizant of protecting this community and their investment, and also recognizing the value that we have here. That everybody should recognize just by understanding the value of a community that's this sticky and engaged, plus the potential value of the project, not even knowing some of the things that are coming down the pipeline. So the answer is no at this point, but it's not a firm no. We may decide at some point that that's something we may do to continue to enhance value for the community, for the founders.
Got it. And then when you do release that, you have no plans to sell it for less than 0.2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to actually repeat that so that everybody hears it clearly. This AMA will be always available. So when I say it, I mean it. We will never sell these avatars for less than 0.2, and our intention is to sell it for a lot more than that when it comes to market. So, but we will never compromise that number, period. We will never release it for less than that.
Very cool. Very cool. Second question, that since we have the Super Bowl of horse racing coming up in a few weeks, what plans is there any plans or any kind of marketing strategy around, getting kind of the word out inside the kind of real world thoroughbred racing events? What is there anything around any kind?
Yeah. So to answer your question, the Kentucky Derby, it's not just the Kentucky Derby, it's the Triple Crown, right? We're going into a month and a half that represents kind of really the the most significant races in the United States, and perhaps the greatest spectator sport in the world in terms of a live event attended by over 160,000 people. It's a testament to the sport and its magnitude, and I think that I think the Kentucky Derby is actually considered larger than the Super Bowl in terms of its draw of people and in terms of its broadcast international globally. So to answer your question, we're cognizant of this period of time, and we're cognizant of the general awareness of horse racing during this period, and it starts now and it ends in a couple of months. And we are working on a strategy. We've been working on a strategy and continue to do so to leverage the interest around the category to be able to capture opportunities for media to cover us. And I expect that we may see some of that very soon. We're working on, we've been working now for months on a variety of different strategic deals that we just can't talk about yet, that we were hoping to potentially have happened before we actually did the drop. But everybody in the industry is so busy with the Kentucky Derby and the upcoming season that it's just very difficult to navigate this space right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see some things happening that relate to us that we'll be announcing around some of these races. And we're going to leverage as much as we can to create interest within the industry. I will say one other thing. Our marketing initially was focused on the NFT space and the crypto space. And now that we're beginning to understand our community, we're starting to expand that marketing and really try to bring in the horse racing industry. And I can tell you that it's amazing how many people are starting to come into the community from that world, which is super important because ultimately that's going to create a really nice balance in the community and add a tremendous amount of value. So we'll use this time to build that audience and create awareness within that community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Rocky?
Yes. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Yeah. So hi. So we've already had a lot of talks in the previous AMAs as well. I would just maybe introduce myself again. So I'm actually in the Netherlands, but I'm an Indian. So yeah. So a couple of questions. So the first question is, I've seen this is my third NFT project I'm part of, and frankly, this is the best project I'm part of right now. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people, when it is a long-term project, they kind of lose hope, and they kind of want the holders expect a kind of small rewards for them being holders as such. So what are the kind of strategies would the team come up with within these next 3 months? Let's say maybe are there any token drops? Are there any STT drops so that people could get some values out of it, or how does it go? Could people take these avatars? Because initially there wasn't any value for these apart from getting a membership into the metaverse, as well as your ability to mint the horse, but there was no rewards in terms of tokens as such, as far as I know. So is there anything, any kind of rewards for these early holders in terms of token drops or anything like that?
Rocky, it's a great question. I'm going to start with telling you that our project is very different than every project out there. We have to be an NFT project and a metaverse project and part of the broad community because of the nature of the technology that we're using and the methodology that we're developing the community with, right? This is a community-owned project that involves cryptocurrency and the blockchain and can only work because of that. And for that reason, we had to find a balance between adopting some of the culture in this space to be able to kind of fit in and attract the type of people that are used to these type of things. We intend to provide enormous value to our community of members, investors, this foundational community in so many different ways. And again, I can tell you that you will see that very soon. And you will see that along the journey as this project becomes more popular, as more people join the community, as we get closer to the next leg in our journey. You will see it come from engagement. You will see it come from all kinds of really cool things that are going to be that you'll be able to be a part of both virtually and in IRL. It will come from airdrops, just like in the traditional NFT world. It'll come in a lot of different ways. I am not concerned at all about that, but what I will tell you is that we think that there's so much value here, and this was an internal discussion we actually had, today, that this is going to become a moot issue because we don't have to do a lot of the things that these traditional projects do that don't really have intrinsic value. But I can promise you that you will start seeing this coming out fast and furious over the next several months. We'll be updating the community regularly. We'll be surprising the community regularly. We recognize that this is about having fun, being a part of a community, and part of that comes from just being a part of something great that you're an insider in, and part of that comes from creating value for the community. So we're going to find the right balance, and we're going to deliver on that value. And if we don't, I haven't done my job, and the team hasn't done their job. So it's front and center. You can expect a lot of things. And again, I want to underpromise and overdeliver, and I want to be able to surprise you, Rocky. That's kind of what I can say, but it's all on our roadmap. And although we truly do believe that kind of we're in a different level than what a lot of other people are doing, and in a bit of a different space, given the tangibility of what we're doing and the connection to the real world, we do recognize that we're still in the metaverse. We're still fueling this platform with NFTs and cryptocurrencies, and that we need to conform to some of the practices that everybody's used to. So we will do that, and you will see, I think, a lot of value from your investment.
Of course. It was a great answer, and yeah, of course, I'm gonna be there. When I saw the slides of the AMA, my first ever AMA that I attended, I fixed myself that no matter what, I will at least hold one avatar for the next 5 years, no matter what. So I'm all in for this, and so I just want to add one more question to this. So for example, let's say I own 2 avatars, so I'll be able to mint 2 horses according to the roadmap, at least as of now. So is there any possibility that the horses, for example, my horses aren't doing well as such, maybe they're not able to race at all? So is there a possibility that my horses would not give me any kind of rewards at all, or no matter how your horse's performance is in the real life, you would get some rewards one way or the other?
So to answer your question, the current roadmap provides for ways for you to offset the risk that you just described, both by syndicating and by staking or pooling your horse to a farm. We have not published additional ways to create value from your horse, but I expect that in our roadmap, as we further develop it, that there will be an opportunity for you to create value staking your horse in a public farm. I don't want to go into details about it right now, but there will be many ways, many places you can put your horse. One of them will be in your farm, one of them will be in a private farm, and one of them will be in a community farm. And we haven't really built out or published that roadmap yet, but that will be a way that you can create value for your horse. Additionally, there will be other utility for your horse as we further develop the economy. And again, it's not on the roadmap right now, publicly on the roadmap, but as we further develop it, we'll publish it. You have to recognize that, nobody gets everything right the first time. And so we've thought through an economy that took us probably 4 months to develop, almost on a full-time basis, just getting it right, because we didn't want to come to market with something that was not viable. We think it's a very elegant economic model, tokenomic model, that is going to work. And it's also very simple. As complicated as it sounds, we kind of tried to keep it as simple as possible. And over time, as the community grows, we will create more complexity to the economy by creating new types of assets, new types of ways to engage, new types of requirements to create different ways to create value. So there's just a lot that's going to develop from this. I can tell you, this is my 5th startup, there isn't a single startup that I've created where we didn't change the business model 360 degrees 5 times before we got it right. And we've already done it 3 times just getting to this point. So I feel like we're really good, really buttoned up. But there will be a lot of things. The most important thing you should know, Rocky, is that syndication and staking and pooling are critical to the model, because we want to create these partnerships, these micro communities of people that end up sharing strong bonds around owning a horse together and sharing in that rooting interest, which is so popular in sports, that creates the stickiness of fans. We want to create an environment where you own a horse and you now figure out where do you want to put that horse and who do you want to partner with, and all of a sudden you're part of a 100-person community, and you guys are whether you pick that community because of the horses they have in the stable that you want to share with and ride along with, or because you like the people and you want to be part of that community. We think that we're going to have thousands of these micro communities formed pretty quickly, and it's going to create a level of engagement that we don't think has ever been seen before in this type of game.
Of course, it's perfect answers, and I did not expect anything less. And this I've been in awe of the work you guys have been doing till now, and I hope we reach great heights. Thank you so much for answering all my questions, and good luck to you, Dan, and the whole team. I'll
Thank
be
you,
watching
Rocky.
along with you
Thank-
guys. So, yeah,
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next AMA.
sure.
Thanks, Rocky. We got Hema up now. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello? Oh, yeah. Hi. From London, UK. Just going to start by saying that yesterday's minting process has filled me with so much confidence on the technical abilities of the team. It's amazing. And every time I attend these AMAs and I hear you speak, then it fills me with so much confidence. And this does not feel like an NFT project, and I mean it in a good way, because it feels like you're delivering a digital product using tools and technologies and ways of working which are aligned to the modern crypto world, which is actually a very good thing, because it feels like you're building a proper product, not just a PFP project or something where the hype dies, which is a good thing. Now, my question would be, is there any way that we can help in the journey again, to be a part of the journey going forward, where we can sort of, I'm speaking from my perspective, I'm pretty sure others would have the similar questions, is so maybe beta testing, agile, data, anything, which, sometimes we don't have a lot of time to go through social media posts and post stuff, but if there is any value add that we can do, then I'm up for it, and then I'd like to hear a bit more about that.
Dan, I don't know if you want me to speak to a community standpoint real quick.
Sure, go ahead, and then I'll respond
Yeah.
to afterwards. Sure.
I know, like, we will see the Discord be changing tremendously, after public is done at 6 p.m. And the one main thing I know me and Ben talk about all the time is getting your guys' feedback on channels. What do we want to see? Just building on a Discord to give you guys the best experience, user journey, learning about horses. Second of all, our Twitter proof, we would love to see that changing to, all our holders or even people in our community posting their Twitters so we could follow each other back and forth on there. So anything we put out, we could use each other to boost our posts and let other people kind of get an inside look on how our community is. But, you guys have and still will be, us helping us give ideas on what we need to put and how we need to teach people about horses or how leading up to the horse drop. So you guys are going to be, a huge part of us building out Discord and, helping, what you guys want to see, what kind of content. So definitely the community point is going to be a big help.
Thank you, Squid. Let me add to that, Hema, that your comments are actually very, very relevant and very well taken. I can tell you that, Troy Levy, who's my strategic partner here, who founded the company and developed the concept with me, was very, very vocal this morning about trying to convince me or influence me in terms of, as we were thinking about what we do with this mint, like, Dan, this is, even though we're in this space, we're a very, traditional project. We're not, we have elements of the culture and appeal, to this new world. And our foundation from a technology perspective is enabled by Web3. But we're a real company. And every one of you needs to look at this as, if you're part of a real company. The difference, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, the difference between, if you look at a play-to-earn game like ours, and you look, and we're much more than a play-to-earn game, and you look at, a traditional video title and how they come out of the ground, a gaming title, the difference is that in our model, the community owns the platform. The community that formed around this to create the value gets the value, right? And it's very different than signing up for a video game that you like playing and being a part of a community, but the value all goes to the publisher of the title. So we're very cognizant of it, and our community is where we want all of the ideas emanated from. And so what I can tell you is very soon we're going to come to the community and announce the formation of committees across many different categories. And we are going to solicit the community for information about what they can do to add value to the process. So if you're in a relevant business that can help the community, we're going to want to know that. If you have specific expertise that can help the community, we want to know that. If you have a specific interest in a category of the game, so let's say that you have you'd like to get involved in the syndication functionality or the pooling functionality or the or some other category or land or whatever. We'll have committees for that so that you can be a part of the think tank that goes into the development of these different ideas. We want as many people engaged as they want to be. If you want to be a passive investor in the platform, a member of the community, you can be as passive as you want, just like you can in the game. You can buy a horse, stick it in a farm, or build your own farm and forget about it. Or you can be hyperactive. And so we're going to give people the flexibility, but we are going to open the doors to allow people to engage in as deep a level as they want to, and we will welcome it. And you can expect to hear about some of these programs in the coming months, weeks and months, as we begin to form some of these micro communities within our community. So great question, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share it.
Great, thanks a lot. Thanks to both Squid and Dan for answering that. And just a comment, I'm super excited about this getting used as a hedging tool for real world horse racing. So there's the immense potential there to bring that world into this. So I'll leave with that thought. And okay, yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
You.
Is Manny King's mic working now? Doesn't look like it. What's up?
So, hey yo guys, California OG boy right here. Currently in Mexico, moving to Arizona soon, USA. You guys are doing great. My first project is amazing. You know, I'm gonna keep saying that, said it a bunch of times. Just a friendly reminder that you guys haven't posted the MAA recording about Rarity, and I know you guys are doing it. You're really busy, just hoping you'll do it before the reveal. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we had some problems with our Dropbox. What we're doing today actually is picking a lot of these bigger AMAs, and we're going to be posting them on YouTube for a little easier for you guys to see it.
Oh, for sure. Thank you then. I like to catch up on all the MAAs and read as much as possible, and you guys are doing wonderful, so keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dragon Hot Dog.
Hi guys, thanks for always being willing to take my questions and comments. You know, the community either loves to hear what I have to say or hates it, but I'll always say something. I wanted to ask in regards to the reality of how these NFT projects are seen and viewed, that there will be negativity that will come from the decisions that are being made today, and the visibility of the fact that some will look at this as we did mint out, so they will have responses in a negative fashion in that regard. How are we going to be overcoming that overtly out into the community versus what we're saying and keeping it here within ourselves, which I know we're here because we support the project? That's the first part of my question. And the second half of it then becomes, once the mint is closed, if we are going to be advertising here to a broader population, you know, they won't be able to get access to the avatar for some time. Is that part of the strategy here, to build up that need to get the avatar as you start marketing it? But the fact is, it will not be available for anyone to get it unless they go to OpenSea until some time in the future. Thanks.
Dragon Hot Dog, thank you. Those are both really good questions, and I'll answer both of them very directly. First question you asked is how are we going to deal with FUD from other people looking in and saying, oh, that's not a great project, they didn't mint out. And your second question was, what's the strategy around the ability for people to access the avatars to get into our community if we're not making the balance of the collection available? Those are the questions, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so to answer the first one, what I can tell you is that we have the idea that we didn't mint out when you're dealing with a product that was priced where we priced it, and the size of the mint, which was a relatively arbitrary number, is irrelevant to us. We really don't care, one, what other people think. If they want to be a part of the project, most of these people that create negativity don't really know what we're doing. They haven't read our prospectus, they haven't read our white paper, they haven't spent real time understanding the opportunity. I look at the chatter because I'm on Discord a lot, just observing to understand what the sentiment is. And you know, people commenting around our floor and around activity. I can tell you it's irrelevant. I can tell you that based on what we've achieved, I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars for my companies in the past from some of the biggest venture firms, public companies, and strategic financial institutions in the world. And I can tell you that what we have here is incredibly valuable, and anybody looking at what we're doing and looking at this community and looking at what we've achieved is going to be all over us. So I really don't care about, and we shouldn't really care about what other people think or say, because they're clearly ignorant. When somebody talks about, well, why are you buying one of these avatars when it didn't sell through? Well, just take a look at the quantity of available product in the market. You know, if 100 people wanted to get into the project right now, and once we've closed our mint, they're going to have to buy in the secondary market, and there's very little available there. So, you know, I can't tell you where the price is going to go, but I can tell you the laws of supply and demand. And right now, there's no supply. And, you know, for people that are close enough to this project that can understand the potential value here, I don't see a bunch of supply being dumped into the market. And if it is, I'm sure it's going to be consumed pretty quickly as we continue to grow. So I'm not concerned about that at all. I'm not concerned about our ability to raise capital and garner significant interest as we grow this community and as we begin to deliver on the roadmap. And again, I'm privy to information that you're not privy to right now. So I'm going to kind of qualify my comments in understanding why you're asking the question, but also telling you that I have no concern whatsoever about that at all. And I can also tell you that, you know, just again, I brought it up beforehand. If we wanted to sell out the mint, we could have sold out the mint. All we had to do was offer the mint at 0.1, and it would have been sold out in an hour. We didn't want to do that because the reason people want us to offer it at, you know, 0.1 or less is because they want to be able to flip it, and we just weren't interested in those people. So in that sense, we're not
I'd like to interject. I just, for the community, I've heard a number of your talks. That was perhaps one of the most passionate answers that I've heard you give in the 24 talks that I've listened to, and that is just a testament to the belief that you and the team have, and quite frankly, gives me even more confidence above what I already had, that you are looking for a very specific type of member. I mean, this project is for a long-term holder that believes in this, and the passion by which you just responded to my question in regards to not really caring what others have to say is exactly the type of position and attitude that we should all take within the community as well. And I appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's the way we feel. I mean, we're, you know, honestly, pre-mint, when we decided on where we were going, we didn't want to be one of those projects. And so that's why we didn't do it. And perhaps that's why ultimately, you know, we didn't mint out, because that community, all they care about is, you know, getting in early and flipping, which, you know, some people did. And, you know, we're happy for them that they were able to make money. They're able to make money right now. If you got in the whitelist or early access, floor's at 0.2, and there's a lot of activity going on right now. So, you know, we created value for whoever wanted that value. And they'll look back in a few months and regret selling, but whatever. In terms of, so anyhow, the short answer is no concerns at all about perception. I actually think the opposite. I think a lot of people I think the smart money out there is looking at us and saying, wow, that's pretty incredible what they were able to achieve. In terms of, and I will also tell you, even this morning, if we wanted to sell out of the project, just between our internal team, some of our investors, and I know members of this community, if we wanted to, we could have literally taken down the entire balance of what's left. And we chose not to do that, but rather save it for the DAO and for when we begin to deliver on our vision, rather than selling it inexpensively today. You asked about the avatar and access. So the moment we shut down the public sale, the only way you'll be able to buy the avatar and join our community is through members of our community that own the avatar. So it's going to force people into the secondary market. It'll take time to flush out probably some of the flippers that are out there, but eventually it's just going to drive up the value of our avatars and get them to where they should be. And that is the strategy.
Thank you as always. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
At CH up next.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm from England. I think, to be honest, just starting to say thank you again for taking the time to come up here again. That sort of leads into what I'm saying here. I think everybody in the project so invested in, obviously yourself, Dan, and Troy, and all the rest of the team. From speaking to us all the time and taking the time to answer all the questions. And I think obviously every time we hear you speak, everyone else gets a little bit more invested. I think a couple of questions really. One, obviously we can go on the website and see the team, that you've got there. Is that the full extent of the team that's working on the project at the moment? Obviously you're going to have some outside help, etc. Is that the full extent of everybody working on the project now?
So we do not include full-time contractors in the team that are institutional. So what I can tell you is, starting next week, there's a team of 15 dedicated people, and I've announced this already, that are under the Access Point umbrella. Access Point is our technology development partner on the blockchain and smart contract side. So there will be 15 more people added to the team beginning next week. I can also tell you that we have an extended marketing team of probably 6 or 7 people that are not on the page that are touching the project full time. So whatever you see on our website, there's another 20 some odd people involved full time. I can also tell you that now that we're going to close the drop, we have our we've been very responsible around our capital, because as a startup you have to be, and now that we have substantially more capital, we'll be able to expand the team in a variety of ways to accelerate the growth of the company. I would say that I've been saying that there are between 30 and 50 people touching the project full time, depending on where we are. And I would say that that's probably kind of in the range of what the size is going to be going forward, certainly until we raise another institutional round of capital or we get to the horse drop, either of which will allow us to accelerate our growth quite significantly. We're not going to bring people on just to bring people on, but there really is a lot of work here to develop and maintain a large community, to develop the technology and optimize it, and to control the brand. It's a big project. It's a big, ambitious project, and we need the manpower. And we'll keep. So to answer your question is yes, there's a larger group than the group you see that's involved, but the people you see on the site are the ones that are doxed. Are all here on a full-time basis, and the ones that aren't either chose not to be doxed, or we chose not to dox them because they're full-time contractors, and candidly, we don't want to share them with anybody. So they're very talented people, and we don't want people poaching our talent.
No, thank you for taking the time. I think it's just still a pleasant community to be in. It's enjoyable to pop on every day and have a chat with everyone. So no, thank you for everything again.
Yeah, and thank you. And I see your name come up a lot in Discord. So thanks for the engagement.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Zero Tango ZTT.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. I think it's very interesting to hear from everybody and where they're at. I live in Houston. I'm currently over the Oklahoma Panhandle at 43,000 feet in an airplane. So that's how dedicated I am here. But the softball question of the day is, where are you and the rest of the team from?
That's a softball. Wow. So I'm originally from Los Angeles. I grew up there. There aren't very many original people from LA. I grew up when they had orange orchards and oil fields in the heart of Los Angeles. Although I'm not as old as I sound. And I moved to New York for graduate school in my early 20s and spent a lot of my adult life there. And about 5 years ago, I moved to South Florida, and I'm currently in Boca Raton, Florida, where I came to actually retire and play golf, and that lasted for all of about 6 months. and I've now this is my second startup since I retired 5 years ago. So that's my background. Ben and Benny and Squid, if you guys want to share your backgrounds, I think many might like that.
Also, when Dan moved to Boca, he shot about 105, and now he probably shoots in the 60s. So that probably did him well. But I'm based in Miami now. I used to move back and forth, from Kentucky and South Florida when I was in the urban industry. But ever since Silk's heart of Miami.
I spent half my time in Colorado. I'm finishing up university in Colorado, and then the rest of my time is spent in California. Sorry about my voice. It's been a long couple days and not feeling so good. So, but we're here. It's all the vibes are good, and everybody's feeling great from our community team, and we're really excited about where we're heading and how much passion we see from each and every one of you. So thank you all for being here. From the bottom of my heart, from my team and the rest of the mods and obviously Gavin. So thank you, everyone.
I'm originally from Boca Raton, Florida, so that's kind of how Dan and I got introduced. And I lived in New York for a couple years, and I'm now actually living in Miami. So that's where we're based out of. A lot of the team's based out of Florida.
Yeah, we have.
Florida boys.
We also have. We have Las Vegas. We have LA. Our head of technology is in LA. Our head of marketing is in Las Vegas. Troy is in Kentucky and in Florida. So we're all over the place. It's a distributed team, although we do have a central presence in South Florida. So yeah, I'm excited. By the way, I'm just going to say one other thing that we intend to have to start creating in real life events, meetups, and stuff like that to really get this community connected for people that are interested. So that's going to be coming down the pipeline soon.
I just wanted to quickly ask, you mentioned you're in a plane right now?
Yeah, I have to throw you guys a softball to break it up.
Zero, are you actually in the air, like flying at the moment?
I am in the air at 43,000 feet, just crossing into Colorado.
That's incredible.
Benny, those boys live a different life.
Are you flying? Oh wait, are you flying the plane?
Yeah, I'm actually flying the plane. So I'm listening to air traffic control in the other ear.
No way, that's
so
crazy.
Sick.
It's awesome.
Commitment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know Dragon
Thank you,
Hot Dog was listening to AMAs and chatting during his flights this last week too. So some really dedicated community members. It's awesome. Fosterella, what's going on?
You're on mute, Fosterella.
Go ahead and bring someone else up.
So, sorry, Manny there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Good, man. I'm phoning in from South Africa. Good to be here. I'm glad I'm part of the project. I've learned a lot in the short space that I joined. And after listening to this AMA, it makes me want to double down, which brings me to my question. Is there going to be some sort of a whale status within the community if you hold a certain amount of avatars?
That's a new one for me. I've actually, I've never been asked that question, and I can't answer that. But what I can tell you is that if you own a Genesis avatar and you bought it in the mint before 6 o'clock tonight, you're going to have you'll have an enduring status within the community that will never go away. In terms of owning a large position, that's a really interesting question. I can tell you that there will be a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that we have several people that have purchased large blocks of avatars to be able to build farms. And those farms are going to be very prominent farms within the community, and we're going to help facilitate the development of those farms. So there's a whole kind of B2B play or B2C play over here. We see a lot of people looking at land development and farm development where they're going to build syndication farms, syndicate out portions of the horses, own a smaller percentage of it, but take the money and reinvest it in developing another farm. So in order to do that, some of these people have wanted to buy up to 100. In one case, we have, as I mentioned earlier, one of our larger holders is an institution that bought 250 avatars, and I think they're going to build several farms. So you're going to get that status from that. But I think it's really interesting that you bring it up, and I'm actually making notes to think about that and think if there is if we can if there's a kind of segment of the population of whales that we create a committee around or some type of status around. So thank you. That's a really interesting perspective. Is that something that you see in other communities?
Yeah, I'm part of quite a few other communities, and in some of them, if you hold more than 10 NFTs, you get free airdrops, you get preferential treatments, preferential access, all that kind of stuff. So it seems to be sort of a common thread within the communities, and a lot of guys are adopting it. So yeah, I thought I'd just ask and see if you guys had anything planned.
To be candid with you, we really have not thought about that. But like I said, I just took notes, and we'll bring it up at our next meeting.
Okay, cool. Sorry, obviously my time zone is quite off. Are we still minting now, or is it off? Is it done?
Yeah, you have an hour and 17 minutes to mint, and that'll be it. Perfect. And I can tell you, just looking at Etherscan, that there's a lot of activity.
Okay, great. Commend you guys on a good job. Like I said, happy to be part of the community. Looking forward to what's in the future. So, thanks, man.
Thank you. Cheers.
Zeta Wolf, what's up?
You're on mute. Zeta, you're on mute.
Got someone else up, just in case. A couple more.
Okay. Silo sniping.
Great.
That's a cool handle.
Yes.
Great handle.
I love mushrooms and sniping NFTs.
I figured that.
Hey, I think someone actually just answered the question, but you were talking about how people that minted before today would have a special status. Does that include people that bought on the secondary market?
It does. If you own an avatar in your wallet, we're going to snapshot it tonight after the mint closes, and we're going to develop a whole program around it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. I appreciate the clarification.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Manny, you're alive.
Can you hear me? Thank God. I don't know what happened there. Right, so I'll just be quick. I've got 3 questions. Can you find a luxury brand to make some nice hoodies so around the place, and we can help design the hoodies, and maybe we can even possibly on some of our avatars revealed where we can actually even get our avatar on. Maybe like, I don't know if you remember the Polo brand, so the Polo Ralph Lauren Polo brand logo they've got, like similar to a Silks one where it's stitched on, which kind of be quite cool to have. That's my one question. My second question is there a chance in the future where rather than we take all this community and we can actually go into the real world, where we can actually buy a horse as a community, bring it up, breed it, and maybe even one day it might race in the Kentucky Derby, where if we win, we can share the prize pool? And my third question, the there are strategies that you can deploy now, where you're sort of protecting the DAO. A lot of these rare ones will not be minted; they'll be held off. People that hold and don't flip, or is there going to be some sort of diamond hands? Yeah, you can snapshot it. So long as no one's listed, they get preferential treatment when you do decide to mint. Not just somebody who just might the project against a lot of value. Somebody with a lot of money just comes in who's got no value, no interest, just wants to buy it then. And the people that came in at the start believed in it and held long term sort of bet. And I
Yeah.
really do hope that you don't do a whole whale thing in here, because I wouldn't like that. I think there's a lot of people who might come in at the start, don't have a lot of money, but they held on to the project and stuff. And it's just this doesn't just feature whales, and I hope it really features people that maybe mint even one or three. Well, I think somebody who minted three is a whale to me. Believed in the project, so that's my feeling on that. I just don't want somebody who's got a lot of money can just say they get all the benefits, who doesn't. But still,
Yeah. Thank you, Manny. I'm going to repeat your questions because it was very hard to hear them, and I want to just make sure the community hears them because they're very good. And you're always a great contributor of ideas, so thank you. Manny asked 3 questions. He actually 4 questions. One was, do we plan on doing things with real world merchandise and our brand, and potentially your silks and horses, etc. 2, the idea of creating a horse partnership within the community of a real horse that can run. And 3, are there going to be diamond hands rewards for people holding the original avatar from today onwards? And then I guess an expression of we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to create value, not just people that have a lot more money and we're able to buy up a lot more of these avatars. So I'll answer each one of them. You are it's almost like you're a fly in the wall on some of the stuff we talk about. So in terms of merch, it's on our it's in our plans. You'll start seeing all kinds of stuff relating to in real world stuff there. So definitely in our plans. In terms of the idea of buying a horse as a community together, something that's on our table for discussion as well. So these are all things that are on our list of things we're talking about. The idea of diamond hands rewards, absolutely. That's what I mentioned today, right? That if you're a holder of an original Genesis Silks avatar from today, and it's in your wallet over time, you'll be recognized for that. And that's definitely on a roadmap. And by the way, all these things are going to come either in announcements or as surprises. And everything that you've discussed so far is on our roadmap. Your last comment, which I thought is really important, is this is a democracy, right? So what we didn't want to do, and if you look at the way the game is played, we wanted to give everybody an opportunity to create value that's here early on. And I can tell you that's going to start with the avatar. We want to create so much value that everybody can afford to buy a horse when they come out. And that's going to come from, diamond hands, So I would just say that everything that you've talked about is on our roadmap, are things that we're discussing internally, and are things that we either have scheduled or will happen without kind of giving away too much, but all great ideas and all on our roadmap. And I will say that, if you are a long-term holder, like I said, we're not giving you a specific roadmap other than to tell you that we are going to recognize you in many ways, because that is so valuable for us and for the community. So absolutely, everything you said is on the roadmap. So thank you, Manny.
No, thank you very much. No, I'm just waiting because I know some of those king ones with the crowns won't be minted. So maybe when you decide to do the next sale, we can try to buy it then. And so if we get preferential treatment, that helps.
Yeah. I know you have an itching for one of those crowns.
Yeah, I don't care about the rarity, bro. I don't care if it was the lowest rank. I'm being honest. I just want one with a crown. That's all I want. It doesn't matter to me. That's all. So if it was the lowest, it was like rank 10,000. I wouldn't actually care. If it had a crown, I'd be quite happy with it. But thank you very much.
Yeah, they are very rare, but you might get lucky, and somebody that grabs one that reveals one may not know what they have. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Just in terms of time, I know we've been on for a long time. I'd like to give the people on stage an opportunity, and I know we have 7 people raising their hands. So let's give this another 10 minutes or so, or try to kind of wrap up in the next 10 minutes, just to be sensitive to everybody's time. But I would like to give everybody an opportunity to speak.
Sweet. I'm gonna read this question real quick from Zeta Wolf because he says he has terrible signal at work, but he just wanted to ask, how are you going to decide the 10,000 of the 20,000 yearlings that are born each year? And he said he's from Chicago.
Okay. Zeta, thanks for the question. Right now, the working model is that we're going to use the most prominent auctioned horses, and use the filters that the large auction houses use to identify the best horses or the most desirable horses with the highest probabilities of winning, and create that as the metric. We may massage that a little bit, include horses that may have been privately sold but have really strong bloodlines that we identify to enhance that. But we'll have a dedicated team focused on kind of handicapping the horses in the crop to identify the best horses. I know that there was conversation earlier, I think from Ziti, may have brought this up around, why not lower the price and just give people the opportunity to buy into anything. And that's something that was interesting. It's on my notes to talk about. But for right now, we really do want to create a great experience and make sure everybody has value. And so we think doing that by kind of softening the curve and the volatility in the outcomes could be a really good way to do it for the first year. Still a work in progress, but that's how we're gonna identify the best horses.
Awesome. He said thank you very much. So, all right, let's move on. Looks like GMA. I don't know if you're
That's Grandma Nene.
Grandma Nene.
That's what my grandkids call me because I always watch the races.
Awesome.
And I'm in Calgary, Canada.
Nice. Welcome.
It is nice today, actually. It's not snowing even. And the person before saved a little time by answering my question about how you're choosing the sales horses. But I'm going to see if I can do this because it was so long ago I almost forgot and I only have one brain cell. Somebody asked a question about what if their horse wasn't any good? And you gave several opportunities that you are going to incorporate. But I got lucky and had a really nice young lady lead me through all this because at 74, I'm not near as facile as a lot of you guys on this. And she got me hooked up and she's with a group. And that is for you with one horse, one avatar. Get in a group and you will then, if you get in a group of 20 people, there's a real good chance you're going to get a good horse. You're going to get a horse that's going to run well if they're taking summer sales horses. So that would be my only advice. Don't worry too much about how many avatars you have. I think just worry about the horse that you hook up with. And if you've got a pool, you got a way better chance of coming up with a runner.
Yeah, I mean, that's good advice. We are going to have all kinds of tools to get people to find people that want to, pool together, that want to syndicate together. So there's going to be a lot of there are going to be a lot of tools that we're going to roll out that will make that easy. We know there's a conversation in the channel already, but we're gonna facilitate that for people to be able to connect on that kind of stuff.
Excellent, because I think this is just like the best thing since sliced bread.
Thank you.
And you guys have done the most amazing job on the website. Holy cannoli, is it beautiful. A lot of hard work, guys.
Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing.
Oh, and just an aside, before I came to Canada, Western Canada, where racing is a contradiction in terms, Ontario is good, but not here. Anyway, I trained for 30 years. I ran a public stable in Kentucky, so I can't even sleep at night right now.
That's awesome.
What track in Kentucky?
Which track? Lexington, in at Keeneland, at Churchill. I ran. Oh my God! I mean, I've been licensed in probably half the states in the United States that have racing.
That's
I
awesome.
ran a stable for 30 years, and I'm a kick-ass pin hooker.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I got licensed in Keelan myself the first time I got a trainer license. It's awesome.
Did you get to win a race at Keeneland so you got a cap?
No, I finished my biggest race at Keelan ever is I finished third in a grade 2. But you know, she was a good filly, so still have the picture on my wall.
Yeah, I got one of those too. I broke the maiden for one of my owners named Penny Chenery, who you might know, a horse named Street Rumor. And he paid, oh my God, how much did he pay? Like $300, I think, because they don't have a lot of respect for women trainers still. And it was a long time ago. But you can look him up. He was a nice horse. And he was one of Penny's, one of the last of the Chenery horses. One of the last that Christopher bred.
We'll soon get on. We'll have horse stories for days. Not a lot of people know horsemen could throw stories back and forth for 12 hours. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're thrilled to have you in the community.
Oh, not half as thrilled as I am to be here.
Well, we got two more people up here. We'll get through these, and then Dan, and then we can start closing up.
Perfect.
What's up, Bone Daddy?
Hey guys, good to meet you, team, and Dan. Congrats on what I think is an amazing launch. I think your transparency, vision for the project, being nimble and changing directions at the last minute, I'm very impressed with. So, congrats.
Thank you. And I've seen you in the community and see your activity, so I appreciate your presence.
Great. I have a personal connection to you.
Okay.
I told some of your mods about it. But first question is there a reason, maybe you've answered this before, is there a reason we can't start by minting existing racehorses and then in each additional following year mint the new yearlings? To me, it's kind of like starting a fantasy baseball league, but you have to start with single A ball or something. So I didn't know what the reason was behind only doing yearlings.
Yeah, there are two reasons. The first reason is more technical, and that is there's a massive amount of work that needs to be developed to be able to actually drop the horses. It's not just, here are the horses. We want to make sure that there is real functionality and utility even before the racing, so that when we deliver the drop, there's incredible excitement, activity, that happens right away. And so we have to build that out, candidly. We have a lot of it designed, but it's not built yet. We wanted the runway to create a world-class product. And candidly, that can take 18 months. So that's why we didn't start with racing, because we can't, there's just too much to build before we can actually offer that. So the timeline was pretty good for us there. The second thing, and this is even more important, is that we wanted to deliver a holistic experience that tracks the real world. And I know that the excitement in horse racing comes from watching your horse race, but there's a tremendous amount of value and emotion and endearment, and that makes the racing even sweeter when you've actually bought the horse at a very young age and watched it develop. There's also a lot more speculative components to it and a lot more gameplay if you think about what's driving our gameplay and our game theory. that really is amplified when you start with an unraced horse. So those were the reasons, and I know that it's going to require us to create a lot more micro gamification, so to speak, before horses race to create strong engagement. But we wanted to deliver to the community from the beginning that whole experience. You're really mimicking the real world. You're buying a yearling, and you're watching that yearling develop, and you might be trading that yearling, watching its value grow as it develops, as its workout data comes out, as its siblings start winning races. That's an experience in and of itself that we wanted to share with the community, and it makes one thing I say is that our vision is to create an economic and emotional experience that mimics the real world, so that there's no difference between whether you own the real horse or whether you own the horse in the metaverse. And that's our promise. That's what we would like to deliver. In order to do that, you have to develop an emotional connection with your virtual horse. And believe it or not, as ridiculous as that sounds, we are going to create that. You are going to have an attachment to your NFTs that is going to transcend what seems like an irrational thing. So we actually believe that's going to happen, and to create the economic parity is going to take time for us as well. So we're in no rush, and we do believe that that this community is going to experience things exactly the same way. So you heard our last community member, Grandma Nene, come up and hear her excitement. She's been in this business for 35 plus years. And I can tell you there are a lot of other people that are in this community that own real horses that feel the same way. So we're beyond excited to introduce that to those people that have never experienced it, and we believe this is the path to do it.
Okay, great. Yeah. And now also, you really should do this for baseball. I think fantasy baseball, dynasty, minor leagues to major would be incredible if you get licensing for it.
Yeah, so there's so many different applications for what we're doing. The problem with baseball and other sports is that when you think about it from a high level, we're creating a dynasty horse ownership fantasy league that is steeped in Web3 and an immersive 3D interactive experience. Never been done in the history of the world before, because it could never be done. To do that, actually, baseball is the only sport where we could replicate that, because we can animate the game where you can go into the stadium and watch it in real time, and it would be very easy to do. The problem with baseball is when you look at horse racing, you have 20,000 new rookies that enter the market each year, whereas in traditional sports, it's in the hundreds. Maybe baseball has a larger rookie pool, and then you've got, like you said, all the minor league teams as well. But of all the sports, that's probably the one traditional sport that we could replicate that in. Let's get horse racing first.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. All right.
Take this last one, Dan.
Yes, let's go ahead. Let's go for it.
What's going on, Lord Nikon?
I'm going to guess it's Lord Nikon, and Nikon is a photographer, maybe.
Yeah, good call.
Your mic is either not on or we can't hear you.
Should we get one more?
Yeah, why don't we throw one more person up? Oh, and if Lord Nikon gets working, we'll give him the floor as well.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Look, I was a little late getting into this one, so if you've answered it, I apologize. But I thought towards the end there, you were saying that you'll be taking a snapshot of wallets who are holding. Like I personally am quite invested. I really like what you guys are doing, but so I've got it spread over multiple wallets of my purchases. If I choose to consolidate it into one wallet later, how does that get seen across the chain? That does it mean that I've could have sold it off or whatnot in respect to how you think?
So I can't answer it technically for you other than to say that if the two wallets that you owned, if there were two wallets, for example, are both owners of the Genesis Avatar collection and they owned it prior to 6 p.m. tonight, whether the token is in one wallet or the other wallet shouldn't make a difference. And we will try to, and I'm assuming we'll account for that. We'll post something after. I'll check with our technology group to determine that is feasible, and I think theoretically it is, but we'll double check that for everybody. I think it's a really good question. And look, I have multiple wallets that I'm holding, that I hold my assets in as well, and there are times that I might have to move one, but I do think as long as it can be seen at the same time that you had both wallets, we'll probably be able to capture that.
Excellent. Thanks for that. Yeah, keep on keeping on. You're doing great work. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said, we'll have an answer for you on that, and we'll post it in the community. Thanks, Chopper. All right, that was a long AMA.
No, like I said in the beginning, that I knew this AMA was going to be super fun. I know personally, me, I gained a ton of knowledge, and also like just so hyped just to see this community keep on growing, and us just building everything out from this point on.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see. There's a lot of activity in the final stretch of this mint. I don't know where we ended up, but we still have about 45-50 minutes to go. We're almost at 100 ETH in trading volume, which will put us, will give us our official site on OpenSea, which is exciting.
Yeah, and whoever is out there in the crowd right now that's sniping all those, leave one for me that goes under. I'm not fast enough. Whoever you are, you're faster than me.
Yeah, and we're almost like, we're literally, if you look at the depth of the market, not that this is relevant, and I only talk about this just because it's fun, but we're literally, 15, less than 15, not even, it just changed. We're like 12 avatars, 12 identity capsules away from 2425.25. So once this thing closes, I'm sure we're going to start seeing some real interesting value being created in these.
Yeah, same here.
That's awesome. Yeah, same.
All right, so it seems we're closing this out. Like I said earlier, what the mod team is doing right now is consolidating all these AMAs. We are going to make it easier access. We're thinking about getting these onto YouTube, better labeling, so you guys have easier to locate everything. So that will be going on through tonight, and hopefully everything will be set up and posted tomorrow.
Awesome. And if you can just shout out to the community, it would be great to have everybody really just getting the word out there. We haven't really been very aggressive in promoting on Twitter, promoting on Discord, doing Discord raids, etc. And I'm not a huge fan of spamming, but I do think that we can just do the traditional things and repost, retwitter, and just create awareness to get people that are interested, that will probably be interested in getting involved with us, aware that we exist. So that doesn't hurt, and we'd love the support from the community.
Yep. Super excited. And like I said earlier, everyone that's here, use the suggestions, ping me and Ben, like if anything you're looking for, any certain shows you guys want to start seeing as we get closer to the horse drop, learning, anything like that, put in suggestions, ping me and Ben, and we can't wait to start, layering out, get into phase 2 of this Discord.
Yeah. And remember, we're closing out in 45 minutes, and we will officially form our foundational community then, and that's so exciting.
It's great. I think we should get with Benny and maybe just show the first render ever of the idea of the avatar. I think we never released that photo, and it would be cool to see the community's reaction months and months ago, the first when the idea was thought up, to what it is today. So
We'll do an AMA to show the evolution of the business from the first time we met. That'll come up at some point soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But thank you everyone for joining. This was a great AMA, and we'll see everyone in the Discord soon.
Thank you all.
Thanks so much, Dan, as always.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Squid, and everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll speak soon.